Facebook. We are
Live.
Hello, my friend, we'll meet again. We're bombing Iran once again. South Pars oil fields, 40% natural gas. There's going to be I've decided that it's worth hearing the ambient noise that the organ creates to add this wonderful storytelling device to the podcast. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Rob Loves Arguing. The world has now officially been ending for the last 3 weeks, and it's probably time we dedicate a full episode to discussing how you can financially benefit from World War III and a few tips and tricks. I had to game out. It's very strange sometimes using AI. Like, I feel guilty at times that I have to have conversations with AI where I feel like I insult it. Like,
Yeah.
Like-
I'm mean to my AI.
I'm not even being negative, although it is getting worse by the moment. It is unbelievable how bad AI is getting. Like, there are literally, when I was working on this episode today, I had to like explain the news to AI that it was like a couple days behind 2 separate oil fields that had been destroyed in the conflict. And that they just told me that it just defaults to telling you you're a conspiracy theorist.
Oh.
It's just like, there's no credible sources that say, and you're like watching a news program about the thing that it's saying hasn't happened or whatever. It's pretty bad. You know what's concerning about Canada? I remember during COVID, living in the U.S. during COVID, I remember that how bad do you pick up the noise like that's playing now?
Well, it depends on your definition of bad. I think I'm wonderfully picking it up perfectly.
Okay, cool,
Yeah,
awesome. It just sounds like an air conditioner's on, like kind of in the background while I'm not playing it.
Oh, that's what that is. I was wondering. I'm like, what is?
It's from the 1950s. It's a very old organ.
Yeah.
So
There's a little. It
there's
sounds
a
like there's a
fan
fat
noise
guy on
to
the
it.
mic besides me that's breathing.
Sure.
Slightly. I actually wanted to
Fat
try
guy
something.
on the mic.
Keep talking.
Fat guy on the mic. What are we doing?
Oh, nothing.
Okay. I remember during COVID, I remember that the Citizen app became very popular in America. Do you know what I'm talking about, the Citizen app?
I do not.
So the Citizen app would like tell you like criminals sort of near you, whatever. Like if a crime was happening and it was like specific, you would be like, and I lived in Chicago, so like very often you would just like, you'd be sitting down to a meal and you get a notification and it would be like, man attacked with bat, like nearby or whatever, and you would be like, oh, that's nuts, and you look outside and there's a guy swinging a bat at somebody. Like, it was like super up to date, super like whatever, and we don't have anything like that. And I used to hate it. There was like a point where America as a culture became very obsessed with the Citizen app, and it felt kind of unhealthy for a little while. But now when I see like the lack of access we have to crime information in Canada, I find it very concerning. Like we're hiding something, maybe.
Yeah. I don't know. The way you described it though just makes me a fan, because I think it was about a year ago, a guy with a bat or an axe going around my neighborhood. I didn't see him, but I read it on the news, and I was like, oh, let's stay inside.
Yeah. Well, you're lucky that you even got it, and not to bring up Miss Ivy's again, but the first shooting, everyone just pretended like it didn't happen. And like, so if we didn't live close by and we weren't in the like mix of people in this neighborhood, we would have had no idea that place got shot. And I don't like we should have been able to get a little whatever. And I get that people become obsessed with it. I wonder if the Citizen app is as popular as it was, because I felt like people burned out. They were like, there are more carjackings that I need to know about. You know what I mean? Like, at some point, I think people collectively had to turn the Citizen app off a little bit, but we could use, like today we were coming back from Parkdale,
Oh yeah.
And,
nice area.
There was honestly nothing wrong
all right.
happened in Parkdale itself.
Sure.
Parkdale is almost essentially the same as this neighborhood. It was what I always tried to explain about Windsor, where I'm from, is that it's not that there's more homeless people in Windsor, it's that nobody else is doing anything. So you only notice the homeless people more because there's nobody else.
Right.
The homeless people won the downtown over.
Right, I get you.
So when you just look around, and it's just homeless, so that's Parkdale.
Right. It's like the prairies.
Yes.
It's flat and all you see that one tree 45 miles away.
But the tree is leaning over. All of its branches are leaning down, and it's just sort of swaying in the wind. You look at the tree and you're like, how is that tree not falling over?
Yeah.
It seems physically impossible.
Yeah.
But so that's Parkdale. But then now, obviously, if you're not familiar with CAMH, it is a mental health and addictions facility. But the front of CAMH, all the windows were smashed out. And we're talking all the windows were smashed out, and those are thick pain. That's not just hitting your window in your house and breaking it. That's, you have to that would take an
effort.
Object. And multiples of them were smashed out, and we were like, well, what the fuck happened? And you can't ask the cops on the scene, they're not going to tell you anything. So you think you could just, a pretty public building had a pretty wild, it shut the streetcar down, whatever. You'd think there'd be some. Let's see if they have any reporting on it now. I'm going to go to today's Chat GPT segment. Hey, that thing that happened at CAMH earlier where someone smashed out the windows, can you look to see if there's any information on that now? And look from information from today, and don't go, I don't know, I looked up last week and nothing happened. See, that's sort of the talking down I have to do to it now that I don't appreciate. And it's not like I want to. I'm not like what you're saying where I'm not being mean. I just feel like I'm often disappointed.
Like a parent.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I gotta kind of, still doesn't have anything. Anyways. But I was trying to game out, and that's what this episode's going to be, is sort of gaming out what happens now. So let me just quickly catch up everybody with what's happened this week in Iran. Israel, our friends over, our good friends over in Israel.
Yeah.
Which, what do we do even, anyways, I'll get to that after. But there is I think the world's largest question is, at what point do we have to turn on Israel? Israel is become your friend at the bar who is, picking a fight with dangerous groups of people all over the place. You know what I mean? And you're going to have to,
I get what you're saying, yeah. This might be a me belief more than other people, but I'm Israel's enemies are our enemies. But you're right. We're just trying to have a good time, man. And you're, getting in a fight at the bar.
Well, listen, there is a way to game this out where you're not. Who in your life do you have that you're gently pro-Israel about?
I wouldn't even say I'm pro-Israel. I think my opinion is the influence of Israel. And this leads to the Jews, which I believe more strongly.
Sure.
But the influence of Israel is over-exaggerated. I was reading a thing recently where someone kind of explained, they're like, I think it's more of, it's a benefit to the U.S., so people blame Israel, but it's what the U.S. and the Donald Rumsfeld-y type people want anyway.
Again, okay. Well, let's pick that apart for a second.
Yeah.
And then I'll go through what our innocent friends got us into this week. Again, I've referenced it. I really should look up the fucking name of this goddamn general. And now, hey, by the way, happy retirement to Dave Smith from Legion of Skanks. Dave retired from Legion of Skanks last week.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I'm not a real fan.
Not
of him. I watch clips of Legions of Skanks.
But you don't. Take it in full. Yeah, so he's finally... Israel got another one. But he... The general that had the list of 8 countries that Israel wanted us to regime change after 9/11, and Iran is the last one we haven't done, and all of those things yet. is it our now listen, I think the one thing we gotta not forget is when it comes to the, and you mentioned Jews, when it comes to the actual religiosity of the situation, right? It is both countries. Israel believes it should exist and that it's whatever, and it has to have this battle. The Muslims believe they have to have this battle, but Christians also believe that. Christians believe that Jews are the chosen people, and that the end times battle will take place there. And that has to happen for like
we need
our
the Jews
scripture
to be there.
Yeah,
as a pawn move.
Essentially, they're like, yes, like we've got to like. It's our side quest is to protect the Jews. Like we know they're wrong, but we still have to like protect them against the other thing, which is Muslims.
Right.
And then like Muslims have to, like everyone is pushing their own holy scripture in this situation. We're not just being like we love Jews or we're controlled by Jews.
Right.
We believe in our scripture, like in the sense that we're a Christian nation or whatever. That or America is a Christian nation, rather. That I forget exactly the details, whatever, but we got to protect the Jews. That's like a thing in our stuff.
Would you say it may be similar in that I was talking about a chess move? It's similar to like you're a sports fan. You know, sometimes your team might not make it to the playoffs, but if there's a little bit of math of if that team wins, then we get another shot against team.
I check the Orlando Magic and the Miami Heat box score every night right now because it's determining where the Raptors might finish in the overall playoffs. So yes, there is an element of that, except for it's, I believe, if in this context, if the Orlando Magic lose, biblical prophecy is not fulfilled and we are like raptured without heaven, I'm pretty sure.
Right.
But
the stakes are
a little higher than, yes, whether or not we're in the play-in tournament or not. But yes, I understand. Like that is a good analogy for it. So we do have our interests like to get to all the religious kookiness because, you know, it's funny. We've almost gotten to a point where we are been so coddling to other religions and so insulting to our own for so long, and then all the right-wing people became religious because it became edgy, because it was edgy to make fun of religion, and that just goes in a circle eventually, to where we don't even bring religion up in any of this at this point. Like, this is so removed from like Muslims and Jews and Christians at this point. We just don't even like think about that's why they're doing all this.
Yeah, we're just lost in the argument. Like I guarantee there's people who post George Carlin clips to make a point about what they believe, but that's posted by a very Christian person, which George Carlin was very unreligious.
Yes, would have made fun of you.
But we don't care anymore. It's just whatever makes your point and is part of the fight.
And like we'll co-opt whoever. I mean, during Obama, the amount of conservatives who use Martin Luther King quotes to try to combat Obama was hilarious. They would just find like any quote they could dig up, like that was like refuted something that he believed. Like, you're black, you're supposed to believe the same thing. But so there's that aspect of it. Now, so of course Christian conservatives, they want to be involved. There's not like there isn't people pushing, same way Marco Rubio is pushing us to go to Cuba and to try to go through with. Everyone has their own little doomsday cult things that they're kind of trying to craft out for themselves. However, Israel, as far as not being that influential. So first of all, Israel went to America. They're
overstated. That's all.
Okay. This war started because Israel told America it was going to do this, and if America didn't get involved, they were going to end up involved anyways. So they might as well get involved from the start because this is happening. I mean, that's how this war started. Mm-hmm. Israel was just going to go do those attacks on their own. So to say they're not influential, I mean, they basically, and then now this week, do you know what LNG is? It's like liquid to gas, like liquid to gasoline gas.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
it's like, I think that's pretty standard form of gasoline. So Israel bombed Iran's. I believe that the Iran one was the South Pars oil field, which represents, I think, 12% of Iran's total energy supply, but then represents its. But then Iran, because Iran is doing what. Here's what's interesting about fighting this country right now. When we fought Afghanistan, we fought Vietnam, we fought whatever, it was about how unexpected things were. Mm-hmm. That it was this guerrilla. That was the first time we used the term guerrilla warfare. It was very ambushy and sort of like took things back to a primal time that we kind of weren't prepared for. Iran is literally just using what they call an escalation ladder. So Iran is basically, if you remember the 12-day war, the one that was before this one, where we apparently took out their nuclear stock. Well, when Iran returned missile fire after that happened, they literally counted every missile they dropped so that they dropped the exact, every missile they launched, counted for every one of the bombs that were dropped on them. They matched it literally equally as a way to go, if you do this to us, we will do this back, but we are not escalating.
Yeah.
So they continually use this escalation ladder. So when Israel decided to bomb the South Pars oil field, Iran decided to bomb the oil field in Qatar. Now, it just so happens that oil field is a natural gas reservoir, which is the largest natural gas reservoir in the entire world. It represents 40% of the natural gas on the planet. It's actually, the reserve is actually bigger than the country of Qatar itself. That's now been bombed on both sides, the Iranian side and the Qatari side. So we now have lost access to 40% of the natural gas in the entire world in weeks. Like in a matter of weeks. It'll take us forever to replace that. Now, so that's bad. Last week we obviously talked about the Strait of Hormuz. Yes, what do we...
I was just doing my own research while you talk. So I'm trying to keep up.
No, I know. I got.
Yeah.
The Strait of Hormuz represents 20% of energy. Anyways, this is all. Sorry. They bombed the South Pars oil field.
Okay, that's easier to type.
They were then
was getting me a little bit.
Retaliated in the Qatari oil fields. So what this will mean for us is about a 25% spike in energy costs.
Yeah.
Europe's fucked. I mean, that's the number one thing. Now, that's the bad news. Are we okay with here? I'm going to stop now. Let's get all the bad news out of the way early. Are we in World War III? Sadly, we are definitely engaged in World War III at this point. Now, why am I so confident in that? Because if you actually look at who the most unaffected party in all of this is, it is the wonderful Republic of China. Mm-hmm. China is the only one who's not hurt by this. Iran, wouldn't you know it, the strait that runs along Iran is pretty well controlled by Iran. So, because Iran is still partners with China, China's getting their oil no problem. So anybody associated with that sort of side right now has no oil problems at all. China's able to make... Because people forget, I don't know if I said this last week, but the amount of things that I just started forgetting that oil is in. Like, we can't make semiconductors right now. Semiconductors between us and China was already getting ugly. We were already starting to lose that battle. We were like, Trump made the deal to like allow him to have the semiconductors and he didn't or whatever. I think like they got them and then they didn't get them. But now that they got them for a little bit, they just have them because they could reverse engineer the technology and China doesn't care about copyright. So we're already in trouble with that anyways. Now we can't make our semiconductors. We're engaging in a war that we can't fuel right? I mean, 40% of natural gas reserves just disappeared. Our largest reserves of LNG gas just disappeared. It's kind of a bad time for that, and supply chains have become weapons now. And not just, again, I'll bring up again, if you don't believe me that supply chains are weapons, ask yourself whether or not it's a good idea for China to own 89% of the antibiotics that get created in the entire world. If we ever had another issue like that and China just wanted to go, hey, you guys all got chlamydia? Well, we don't got the medicine for that no mo. Very sorry. They could just do that. So anyways, that's more doom and gloom. I apologize. I'm trying to get through the negatives of World War III as quickly as I possibly can here. If you're being fucked, we might save for the positives. Emerging countries are also fucked. Globalization is pretty much fucked. That could be in the positives after. I just want to get all the negatives out of the way. This will certainly lead, and I'm not been like an alarmist, everything is World War III guy, but this is just already sort of World War III. The U.S. is insanely vulnerable. Nobody really wants to like ally with it currently anyways. The people denying help in the Strait of Vermouth, it should just be the Strait of Vermouth. That would be more fun.
I thought it was.
It's Harmouth.
Harmouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, and vermouth is something you put in a drink.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, is for martinis.
Well, you know what? If Trump brings Christianity to the area and no more of this Islam stuff for them because of great Trump, the leader.
Yeah.
We're changing it to vermouth because we also drink alcohol.
The rivers will run kind of dry with vermouth.
Yep.
It would be, man, that would sting. Every dickhole in the Middle East would just be burned right off, which I think they might be anyways, but it would be because of us this time.
They do something to them.
They're definitely, yeah. I imagine that's the stingiest pee holes of any continent would be any region, I suppose I should say.
Yeah. Anywhere with sand, I guess.
That's a sand and a little access to showering. I imagine they got some tender pee holes.
Yeah. There's a lot of sand everywhere except for where we live.
Do they just piss in the sand? I guess you just take sand pisses, right?
It depends if you're talking. I'm sure that like Tehran is like a city, they have toilets.
Yeah. But there's a lot of.
But yeah, if you're like those YouTube videos where you watch a guy with a white guy go with camels to like some tribe that lives in a desert.
Yeah, they're right.
Yeah, they're peeing in the sand.
They're writing their names and pee in the sand.
Yeah.
I imagine if you walk through there, you will see the name written in Muhammad in piss 3 or 4 times on your journey.
That's got to be sacrilegious. If like writing his name in piss has to be.
Yeah, but piss is like I don't know. Do Muslims even look at piss as bad?
I don't know.
I'm not sure what their feelings on piss is.
Yeah, maybe they're the highest golden showers.
You know what I mean? Like they might love. You know what the term Dubai chocolate came from, right? I was trying to explain this to 2 gay guys in a Lindt chocolate store the other day.
I remember somebody's told me that it has some gay reference, and then they propagated Dubai chocolate to overtake when you Google Dubai
It isn't quite gay.
Okay.
It was that sheiks have a tendency to love getting shit on.
Yes.
And that was referred to as Dubai chocolate.
Right.
And so then they sort of like when Taylor Swift, they say she dated Travis Kelce because she had received negative backlash for her Jets. And so the first game that she was dating Travis Kelce, they were playing the Jets. So from that point on, if you Googled Taylor Swift Jets, that's what would come up.
That's a fun conspiracy.
It's 4D chess. I'll tell you that much. If that's true, that bitch is brilliant, and you got to watch out for her.
And as far as conspiracy theories go, that's the most mild and fun.
Yeah.
You know?
My favorite is Stephen King killed John Lennon, but that's neither here nor there.
That's darker.
Sure.
Fun.
Yeah.
I'll give that. That's fun because it's
Yeah.
interesting and kind of out of nowhere for someone like me who doesn't know.
Yeah.
But the Taylor Swift one is also mild. Like you're not hurting anyone with that.
No.
Yeah.
It's because Stephen King looks like Mark David Chapman. If you look at Mark David Chapman, he looks a lot like Stephen King. So there's just it makes if you look at the timeline, it doesn't even make sense. But yeah, it's a fun one. And also Stephen King, he sucks now.
Well, he's supposed to also have always been a dick.
Yeah, I could imagine Stephen King's a dick. He has a false house in Bangor, Maine. Do you know that?
He has a what?
So the house that everybody thinks is Stephen King's house is like an old house he doesn't live in anymore. But he keeps like the Stephen King shit up to attract people to it, but he lives like 2 blocks down.
Does he make money off of that?
No, people don't bother him.
You know what?
And it's fucking Bangor, Maine, so it's like how expensive could it be to buy a second house in Bangor, Maine?
Yeah.
You know, so.
You know what's so funny? Whenever I heard Bangor, it just sounds foreign. So I thought it was Bangor, Maine. Maine was a country.
Okay.
And Bangor was the capital.
Was the capital of it. No.
Yeah.
It is just a place. Do you know that Maine was the most Republican state in the Confederacy or whatever they call it, the Republic?
Oh, really?
Maine was purely Republican,
north.
I think, until like the 1980s. Yeah. They were like the most staunch Republican state. But anyways, okay. So we got a bunch of the negatives of World War III out of the way, I believe. Yeah, China will be involved, whatever. But okay, so let's get to what the positives are of all of this. So Europe gets most of their energy from Qatar. So now, I mean, nobody is more fucked from this than Europe. Europe's completely decimated. I mean, England was already in trouble because England has like their mortgages are all 2 years. So, like, they just, every 2 years, they have to redo their mortgages, and interest rates were just going crazy. And it's not like here where you might have a 10-year fixed mortgage where you could survive interest rates going up. They got to renew all the fucking time. So they're already getting pushed out of their houses like crazy in England. So that's already a massive issue. And now energy is going to be fucked. So this is a great time. Again, I want to be very clear. These are the positives of World War III now. If you can save up a little money and take a trip to Europe, it's going to be, in the next 6 months, European vacations are going to be very appealing.
Sure.
Because they're not going to be able to do anything. So if we can come from here, now, if you're in manufacturing or technology, you're probably going to lose your job here. Most likely there will be pretty huge layoffs. I'm sorry, there's a fear in your eyes, Sanker, but...
no, I'm good.
You think you're all right?
I'm an office guy.
Yeah, but office guy, that's, you know, all right. Well, what is it that you do? Why don't I know what you do, really, even?
I'm in human resources. It's gone. That's gone. More of an AI issue.
Okay.
It'll be gone.
Yeah. One day. And when the war comes back, no one's going to care about the N-word anymore. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to basically, I think, in times of war, HR does tend to fall by the wayside.
Well, I'm not even that HR. I'm like administrative. So it'd be more correct for people to understand. I'm like admin.
Okay.
So like what I do is completely replaceable by AI eventually. When they
you're like a scheduling app now. Yeah. Yeah, I think I've seen Connect Team, I think, is what's going to replace you. It's an app called Connect Team.
Probably, yeah.
Sick. Well, don't worry, because there'll be plenty of things for you to do going forward when you have to enlist in the army and fight a war. So,
well, let's hope I'm.
How old are you again?
I'm 36, so I might. It depends.
You're at a cutoff. It depends how bad things go. I could see you still having to get enlisted.
Was there a World War? There was a cutoff for World War II.
That's a good question. What was the cutoff for? What was the cutoff for Vietnam? I feel like Vietnam got a little more desperate than World War II. People were gung ho about World War II.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to add a little more.
Oh, it's coming in. Draft primary targeted men 19 to 25.
Yeah, of course you want 19 to 25. It doesn't mean that's what you're going to get.
Yeah. Target. It still says target age range. So I think here's what I would say is that I think if you're 30 and you live by yourself and whatever, you're probably getting drafted.
Why do you think live by yourself? Do you think they're going around being like, this guy gets no pussy, send him to war?
Well, no, I think they used
Man, this club's in trouble if that's the case. The amount of pussyless losers that fucking frequent this place. You know what occurred to me the other day with all these Ukrainian comedians that hang out here now? We're literally just draft dodgers. We're literally just have a bunch of draft dodgers that come and fucking go fight for your freedom, you fucking dickheads.
Hippies.
Stop hosting the Gulag open mic with Vova later on tonight. We have one of
Oh,
the draft
is he
dodgers
hosting?
hosting the open mic.
Oh,
tonight.
okay. I like him, though.
Yeah, they're adorable.
Out of all
they're
the draft
so
dodgers.
goth. Like they
Yeah.
have this like. And I'm curious to know if that was going on in the Ukraine before they came, or if they've adopted this sort of like, we've been bombed. Like I don't know if they're like leaning in.
Oh yeah, yeah. Maybe it would make sense to be more emo and goth during a war.
Yeah, I mean it makes perfect
The
sense.
world is dark.
You know, we got new metal after 9/11, so like
Yeah,
it
yeah.
feels like that also tracks. But yeah,
Rush-
they should go home and fight. I mean, neither of the two I'm thinking of are fit in any particular way.
But that's part of what gets you fit. you know?
yes, you go fight the war for a little bit.
That's one thing. If we had a draft, I'd be like, you know what? It's like I don't have to take Ozempic.
Could we at least just let the Ukraine die instead? Like, if we're going to do this one, could we at least just go, sorry, Ukraine, but we got some other things we're worried about over here?
I think to be honest, and I'm not a fan of this because I do. One of my best friends is Ukrainian.
Where does he live?
Well, he's like lives in Barrie.
Then who cares?
No, I'm just saying. If I had to pick a side, I want Ukraine to get some of those Russians out of there or whatever. But I think people have forgotten about it.
Also, but yeah, what do you ultimately describe what it is that you're hoping for, Sanker?
It's not going to happen. But if I'm hoping, Russia just goes let's give up. Not give up their country. I don't think. But they're like, guys, go home. It's like just fuck it.
Would you give up the Donbass region to let them go home at this point? Would you
like
say Russia, fine, you have the Donbass, and just get out of here?
I've heard most people say now that there's no way Russia is like giving up all of their gains or whatever. It's not happening. The peace will come from Ukraine like giving up a region or whatever. I don't love that, but it's like, what are you gonna do? You know?
Yeah, they consider themselves Russian anyways. Okay, let me put it this way. Who would you rather see die? Russians or Middle Eastern? And when I say Russians, I mean all of them. Like, like the whole region or whatever. Would you rather see more people die in Eastern Europe or the Middle East?
I'm pretty much in the middle. Like I don't.
You have to pick. You want
have to pick?
somewhere in your heart. You want more. Not sorry. Let me put it.
You give me a country. If you're going if you're saying Russia,
Then
but
you would
you're
rather
saying
more-
Ukrainians might die too.
Yeah, well, because generally you have to live with the reality of the conflict, right? There's going to be people on both sides that die. So would you rather? But let me say it differently so you don't sound monstrous. Where would you rather less people die? The Middle East or Eastern Europe? That's a better way for you to be able to put it.
I guess East. I guess I'm more of a connection to
Racist.
Eastern.
That's what I assumed. No amount of Guyanese in you is going
You
to.
like seeing brown people
You
die.
just want to watch other Browns die. Yeah, I don't know, because I feel like now I got to think myself who I want to perish more or less. Because, like, you got to think of the pros and cons. Obviously, with the Middle Eastern thing, I guess the Ukrainians are coming here too. But Ukrainians don't seem to be taking any jobs. They just seem to sort of...
Took Lewis's job tonight.
Yeah, they are taking over open
Yeah,
mics.
yeah.
Not a ton of Middle Eastern comics. I will say the Indians crushed them.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, Indians took the comedy way more than Middle Easterns.
Well, there's like a real non-funny reason to that. And
yeah,
it's there are people with they have TV over there and a culture, and they have comedians over there. Stand-up is a little more burgeoning, but like there's comedic movies like Bollywood and stuff.
I was
Is
more of the
there a
click
lot
cutting stuff. I thought was going to be the bigger issue. Is that
I mean, yeah,
like you can draw a picture of Buddha.
Yes.
Nobody seems to get upset about that at all.
Yeah,
and he's hilariously fat. You'd think if there was one religion, they'd want you to stop drawing the dude. It would be Hindu.
Yeah. Well, they don't like care about the Buddha as much. They believe in the Buddha. There is a connection. The idea of the Buddha is a Hindu belief, and then it's like more like they just ran with it.
Is it kind of like their Hanukkah, where we think it's the biggest thing, but to them it's like fourth or fifth?
No, it's just that like they invented the concept of there is this guy called the Buddha or whatever, and then the people who are Buddhists, I guess it's similar to Christianity and Judaism or whatever. It's like Buddhists are like, oh no, but this is the only guy that it has really any answers, so they just focus on just him, whereas Hindus are like, I don't even know who that is. Similar to the Jews. Got
it. So he's sort of like Jesus was like a prophet, but not the son of God. So to Hindus, Buddha is like, he's fine.
He may have had some answers, but to them, they're like, he's still Hindu.
Got it.
Jesus of
Okay.
Hinduism is arguably, you could go different ways, but arguably Krishna.
What about Lakshmi?
Lakshmi is the wife of a different. Krishna is a avatar of Vishnu. Lakshmi was the wife of a different avatar because he's had a few.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just like James Cameron.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's had a few avatars.
Lakshmi is the origin. I think she was from an old. I'm bad at this because I listen to my dad once in a while.
I was reading a bit once.
Yeah.
And I was looking up who would pray to for good luck, and Lakshmi's like the good luck one.
Sure.
As far as I could tell. So, okay. All right. Well, I said I would get to the positives of this. I don't know that I necessarily have. European vacations, very cheap. Pretty much every emerging country that isn't completely aligned with China is in like a lot of trouble. So like,
I'm wrong. It's Vishnu's wife. Anyway,
he's Vishnu's wife.
Yeah.
So he's like the Hillary Clinton of Hindu.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I'm less of a fan. I'm more of a fan of Lakshmi than Hillary Clinton.
Yeah. Did Lakshmi also shove a bayonet up Gaddafi's ass?
I mean, you say that a lot. That's, I think, my favorite part about Hillary Clinton
is the
coolest thing.
Well, also, that does relate back to whatever. You know why we'll never win this thing with Iran is because they shoved a bayonet up Gaddafi's ass. Because Gaddafi had enriched uranium and was working towards the bomb. And the second Gaddafi got rid of it and said, fine, I'll capitulate. We don't need to have the bomb. Like, I want to become like whatever.
Yeah.
That's when they fucking invaded and shoved the fucking thing up his ass. So Iran will never get rid of their enrichment.
Want for the bomb.
You know, and they don't want the bomb. It's a lie. They don't want the bomb at all. There is literally a fatwa there is a religious fatwa since 2004 on Iran that Iran like put on itself. I don't really understand how fatwas work, but the Ayatollah in 2004 put a fatwa on the idea of Iran getting the bomb because they didn't want to whatever. They just didn't want to get rid of their enrichment because then they get a fucking bayonet up their ass. So they were just keeping that. That was always the line. Trump's line was they can't have a nuke. They were like, we don't even fucking want a nuke. Like, if they wanted a nuke, how much money does Iran have? You don't think Pakistan would sell them a nuke in a fucking heartbeat if they actually wanted a nuke? Ultimately, of course they would. They would have one from Pakistan. But they don't want a nuke because they don't actually want that kind of trouble, because Iran has actually been an incredibly rational, like, I don't want to say partner in this because that's not what you call adversary. They've been a completely rational adversary in all of this. They are using the escalation ladder. They are only doing what's being done to them. Yeah, they're going to use the supply chain. Like, what a not lethal thing to do, ultimately, is use our supply chains against us. That's what we've been doing to them for decades. What are sanctions? So what are they doing to us now? Sanctions. So get ready, America, because you got sanctions now. Your oil is going to be 25% more. Unless, of course, and this gets into the investment aspect of things, part of the reason Trump is doing this is because he turned the oil back on. Like, after decades of all the other presidents going, oh, well, we got to stop drilling. It's bad. It's whatever.
Yeah.
He drilled. And guess what? America has a lot more energy independence than they did in the past, which is why Europe is fucked more than America, which is why you'll still be able to get on that. Now, the plane ride will be expensive because that's going to fuck everybody. But once you get there, the hotel, the food, if there is any, like, all that shit, they're done. Europeans aren't going to be able to spend money on fucking anything. And People think that we can just back out of. We're in it. The reason that I'm so confident saying this is World War III now is because we've already passed the line of consequences where we're already going to feel it. These fucking oil fields, like, they're not going to be rebuilt for a decade. Like, this isn't a thing where we go, oh, we got our guys in and they're, 6 months. Oh, but like, you think COVID was bad? And like, look what the supply chains did during COVID. Look at how quickly the world falls apart. So like, don't sit on the side of this. Don't go, this is overblown. Take whatever money you have and put them in strategic places. Nuclear. Definitely invest in nuclear right now for 2 reasons. One, because those bombs are expensive and we might drop 1 or 2 of them. But mostly because that's going to be the only energy going forward. We're going to be doing Homer Simpson shit going forward. Yeah. That's the only way. And nuclear energy is better than they say it is anyways. But invest in nuclear. Invest in American oil companies. Because American oil companies now it doesn't help people at all. And if I was to say anything, when things like this happen, I think people with busy brains like me have a tendency to go like, what do we do? As if there's like actually something that could be done. If you were going to demand anything from your people, you know how Alaska works with energy, where everybody in Alaska gets a check from the oil that's produced in Alaska?
Oh, yeah.
You're familiar with that?
Yeah.
Well, if American oil is about to go through the roof because we've just destroyed the Middle East's ability to export it, then everybody in America better be getting a piece of that fucking money back. Like, if you're looking at what's going to accelerate manufacturing back to being, like, this kills globalization. Manufacturing is going back to the countries again. Like, there's how many times do we need to see what supply chains do between COVID and now this war before we realize 89% of antibiotics being made in China is a bad idea? When the hurricane hit Puerto Rico, and it was like 99% of IV bags in the entirety of the world were made for some reason in Puerto Rico. Well, a hurricane hits, we don't have any IV bags anymore. You know how bad that is for people who need blood transfusions, who need whatever? We're going to have to stop doing all this bullshit. So all that goes away as quickly as it possibly can. And as like slow and as lazy as we are with most things, we're going to have to like learn to be a little different with it. And we're going to have to like act quickly on some things. So invest in like infrastructure, but mostly invest in American oil, West Texas oil in particular. If you can sell your house like tomorrow, I would do that, unless you're like rent to like really low income people. Like anything that like rents out to low income people, hang on to that. If you're in Canada, in Toronto in particular, you're already kind of fucked.
If you're a slumlord,
if you're a slumlord, like it's a good time to be a slumlord. You'll be fine. If you could work on, I don't know what the legalities on owning a shelter is, but if you could possibly profit from a food bank or a shelter, that it's a good time to do that. Obviously, investing in weapons is a good time to do that. Like, weapons manufacturers are a good investment. And by the way, I know this sounds like I'm catastrophic. Do this. Like, this is actually the smart fucking play right now. I remember when I was in grade 10, my dad had bought me Tim Hortons stock when I was like a baby. Yeah. And when Wendy's bought Tim Hortons, we got a payout from that or whatever. So when I was in grade 10, he gave me the payout, and he said, I want you to invest this into another company. So I did my little grade 10 research, and Precision Drilling, which I don't know if that's still a company or not, but that was like supposed to be one of the great, it was right after 9/11. 9/11 happened when I was in grade 9. And, invested in that, and as a 16-year-old, I turned 100. By the way, I'll turn this into an investment podcast in a fucking second.
Sure. Yeah.
I turned $100 into like 390 or something like that.
Sure.
In like a year's time. My dad had to do all of it. Obviously, he took it in and out, but I was the one that like made that money. It sounds silly, but this stuff happens quick, and you're all about to lose your money and everything else anyways. Now, again, this sounds very, but let me tell you why it's, because if you remember when Trump tanked the stock market, Now, those words sound bad. Tanked stock market. But if you know anything about the stock market after 2008, you know that it was crazy over leveraged by the financial crisis, that 85% of the stock market was owned by Fortune 500 companies, mostly which were owned by Vanguard, State Street, and the other one, that's the biggest one, BlackRock. And so when the stock market crashed, I was very sorry for some old ladies and some whatever that had stock and their pensions were in some shit and whatever. Did they feel hurt? Yes. But when 85% of the stock market is leveraged by rich people and the stock market plummets, you have closed the gap. The ever widening gap that has come between rich people and poor people got closed. And that is what this war will do. What do we hearken back for? Oh, remember in the 50s when you're a single family and they had a car and a house and they had all, well, why do you think they had all that? Because we just finished fighting the biggest wars of all time. So if you want that stuff back, and why, you look at me confused. Why would fighting a war lead to all of that?
Yeah.
Because we had factories. We didn't trade the same way we did. It isolated the entire world so that everybody was taking care of themselves to some degree. And I'm not like super anti-globalization guy, but like I've said a million times, we don't need to send this can across the fucking globe.
Well, yeah, the real globalization, I think the way it should be, is not we send that can. We send things that can be made anywhere. We're going to send it to be made somewhere else. I want this really weird thing that's popular in China. Like
Labubus.
Yeah, Labubus.
I want Labubus.
So globalization exists in that Temu exists and you can get those things. But not like Nikes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even the Nikes I don't mind, but TVs.
They have to look Chinesey if
This.
the Nikes are chopstick Nikes.
If you wanted to make this in China, I got no issue with that because I'm only buying one of these in my life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like I'm only going to buy one of these in my life. You're only going to buy one or two of these cameras. You're only going to, I'll buy a few of these, but you know what I'm saying? Things that we need periodically that could be made cheaper there and could be specialized, those things make sense. But when when my fucking vape has to be shipped across the fucking globe, that doesn't make any sense. You could be making vapes. You could be making vapes. We all could be making vapes and living like a fine life. And that starts with all of the bullshit jobs go away because those people have to go fight in a war. There are no influencers anymore. Go influence us from the battlefield. Go whatever. All those people got to go do real things again. Hey, do a little dance.
Yeah.
Bring up morale. You know what I mean? Like, that's interesting. I'll watch that. I'll download TikTok finally if I fucking can, just watch a few people getting blown apart and whatever. Although the Allisons own TikTok now, so it's going to all be just pro-Israel. But regardless, what are you going to do? So, yeah, jobs will come back. War is good, inevitably. Listen, I'm 40 next week. I probably don't have to fight this. So, ultimately, this will be the first of the world wars you can actually just choose to not care about. Like, you can actually just check out of this world war. I don't think you could have checked out of World War II or world. They didn't call it World War One, but the Great War.
The Great War.
You paid attention to it. You went to go see a movie. They played a little clip how good everybody was doing and how whatever. You know what I mean? This one, it's the first one where it's like it's just not. I don't have a war algorithm. You know what I mean? Like, you could literally just live and like, I just watch anime, and anime isn't discussing the war. Like, you can ignore this now. Granted, bananas will be $4 a piece. That part will affect you. But again, we've been going through that for fucking 5 years now already. People have a pretty good ability to tune that out. And listen, a lot of these people, terminally online people, are anorexic anyways.
Yeah.
So they're going to mostly be fine. The streaming will continue ultimately, which will keep many people engaged and not caring about the tragic loss of life around the globe. It will also have the fewest deaths, this war. Maybe not after the fact. The starving and the whatever, that'll probably be pretty bad because there's more people now.
You don't count that though.
But I don't, you know what I mean? Like, what are you going to do? It is what it is. There's a good chance they were starve and die anyways. So you can't really, it's kind of like during COVID, right? Where they're like, how many people died of COVID, but how many people were just going to die and had COVID?
Yeah.
It's
I
like,
think
yes.
it's 50-50.
Yeah. You know, in this war, when you bomb Iran, it's sort of like, okay, that many people died because of the bomb, but probably half of them are going to die anyways. You know what I mean? So there's a little bit of that going on.
But if it doesn't hit any of that criteria, is it a world war?
Yes, because the entire world, because the war, again, this isn't about missiles. Iran isn't going to shoot missiles at America. They're going to cut off supply chains. And if you actually know more and more about the prior world wars, you actually know more and more about how supply chains and trade had way more to do with that than we just love the Jews that much. Like, when you actually get into the brass tacks of why we entered World War II, it wasn't so much bleeding heart liberalism, and was a little bit more pragmatic.
It also depends on what country you're talking about, because like most of Europe joined World War II before they knew about the whole Jewish thing.
Yeah.
Well,
they were getting directly attacked. They kind of had, like, once a country
Britain
starts
joined,
invading their neighbors.
Yeah. Like Poland got attacked and Britain joined and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Canada, we were still kind of connected to the British, so whatever they did, we did.
Like, isn't that interesting context to even have even discuss that? Is that Hitler just straight up took Poland before we were even going to get involved, and now there is a portion of the Ukraine we've never heard of before that might get taken. And
that's why I don't believe I on my side, I don't believe the world war is happening, because I think it's just going to be a lot of like everybody's staying out of it. They'll say, hey, don't,
but nobody can stay out of it. Everybody's affected. There is no staying out.
Oh, like, we're affected economically and stuff like that. But I mean, like, to make it a world war, one of these countries, whether it's like, let's say China. You mentioned China. If China actually goes, all right, you fucked with one of where we get fuel from or whatever, so we're attacking America. If that happens, then I'll go, okay, world war. That's a world war. But if
your line's China.
Well,
is there anybody else that could get into the party that would make you
like
go?
India, even the British, something, if they got involved for some reason. But no, not even the British.
The British could be involved, and it's not a world war yet.
Yeah, but that's also because they're on the U.S.'s side.
Yeah, that's what.
It has to be two-sided.
So you're saying once another big power jumps in against America.
Correct.
Okay.
Or if America had jumped in and attacked Russia, world war. But they didn't. We did some sneak dissing on the side. Whatever.
It's back to the sneak dissing.
Yeah. But none of us, we didn't join, so that didn't turn into a world war. And then I just think this Iran thing is going to be similar. Is from a side, some countries that like Iran are going to go, hey, and then just not get involved.
I guess my question would be, what incentive at this point does either side have to ratchet things down? Like, what is after the damage that's been done? What the Iranians ain't stopping.
Well,
they're not going to stop.
Sort of. They're not that. They're underratedly not that powerful. So if no one gets involved, they will get their asses kicked.
But this is where you're again, supply chains. They are powerful. It doesn't matter how many weapons we have if we have no fuel to bring them there. They can end this war. They can win this war. Mm-hmm. Like, it is a very strategic line that we're walking. Like, yes, missiles, nuclear weapons, like just ending it. Can Iran end the war? No. But can they hurt America and make it so America doesn't really have the ability, aside from dropping a nuke, to end it? Yeah. I mean, America's in a position already up the nuclear escalation ladder of, like, they're not that far away from having to use it. Boots on the ground does nothing. Boots on the ground doesn't help. Where are we at? 5? Cool. Boots on the Ground does absolutely. Everyone's worried about Boots on the Ground. My beautiful girlfriend's brother is enlisted in the Canadian Army. We're, obviously not thrilled with the idea that like Carney's like, this is a terrible idea. They shouldn't be doing this. If they need help, we'll for sure help them because I just have a dick up my ass. But I don't think we're going boots on the ground. Boots on the ground is not necessary. It's just a bomb war. We just do bomb wars now. That's why I think the death toll will be the lowest, is because we're just not throwing human meat in the fucking grinder like we used to. Like, there's just no reason for it anymore. Like, literally, if they put boots on the ground, it's for no other reason than pomp and circumstance. Like, it's literally like parade shit at this point. The drones, the whatever. Like, Iran's not going to do that. Iran's doing just fine with drones. Because that's how you can't beat them. Because now a fucking $45 piece of equipment can go bring devastation to someplace. Like, we're in a different type of thing now. Like, they used to strap them to themselves and go do it. They don't got to do that anymore. Like, they don't even have to lose a guy. They lose a thing they ordered on Temu. Like, that's it now. So anyone who thinks that this is like a layup is I'm telling you, this is like catastrophe capitalism is your only way. If you own nothing, great. Like, you remember when that was the big thing? You're going to own nothing and love it or whatever?
Yeah.
You're actually in a situation now where if you own nothing, you'll love it because you're not watching the value of your goods plummet currently. Mm-hmm. Like, it's actually a wonderful time to hoard your money and own nothing. Why is Warren Buffett have more money saved up than he ever has ever? Warren Buffett's entire thing was, I spend my money, I spend my money, I spend my money. Since COVID, Warren Buffett has had $190 billion liquid. He doesn't do that. These people know stuff. Just pay attention. Go buy what they're buying. Go whatever. I know no one listening to this podcast is going to have enough money to like, this is going to make a dramatic, but go make a little win. You'll spend your money on DraftKings. Like, you'll go to Couchy.com and throw some fucking money away. So instead of doing that, go make an actual substantial bet. Yes, you are betting on the death of hundreds of thousands of people possibly, but you will see 2x returns, I promise. And you know what? What more can I say than that? Jim Cramer ain't promising you that. All right? Jim Cramer won't put the blood in his hands that I'll put in his hands. And weapons manufacturers, buy. West Texas Oil, buy. Nuclear energy. What am I doing? Yeah. Nuclear energy, buy. I'll tell you what, I love Halliburton. All those things. Go back and watch a Michael Moore documentary. And whatever the companies are that Michael Moore is criticizing after the fact, that's what you need to go invest in today. Go take all of those same companies. If you see a Cheney on the board of directors, invest. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, this is the shit you have to do in this time. And you can bitch and complain about it after the fact. You can Michael Moore it. You can go, look at what they did. Do you know what they're doing instead? They're dropping their hard-earned dollars into your death. At least match them dollar for dollar. I'm going to start a GoFundMe, and we're going to pool a bunch of people's money together. This GoFundMe doesn't necessarily work. How do we come up with like a insurance-y type pool? And we're going to put it in the most depraved death machine that exists on the planet. Like, whatever the thing is that just kills as many people as possible, but turns that fucking into money. We're going to like get a group investment into that. And you're going to see how profitable that is. Don't underestimate this. Sanker, I love you. You're wrong, and I don't do this. This one is World War III. We're already in it. The consequences have gone too far. We can't walk any of this back. And if you can't walk any of it back, then what's the point? What did Trump want to do? Why did he want tariffs? He wanted to bring manufacturing back. He wanted to disrupt the supply chains. He wanted to do all of this. Did he want to do it through diplomacy? Yeah. Will he do it instead by killing like 6 Ayatollahs in a row hilariously? Well, and yeah, that's how he'll have to do it. I can't wait to see. I hope that one day there's a Disney Iran or Iran Disney. So like how Disney World has the Hall of Presidents. I want to see the Hall of Ayatollahs.
fucking paradise.
I was like,
It's all right.
Fucking
I'm just finishing my podcast.
I actually believed it was him.
It was Charlie?
Yeah.
No, Charlie's mad at us, so he won't come.
Oh, okay.
All right, I got to wrap this up because it's going to be whatever. I can't wait for the Hall of Ayatollahs in Iran Disney World, where you get to see like 6 Ayatollahs, but the time period is all within like 8 days, where just the newest Ayatollah is just killed like immediately, and they'll just have to bunch them all together and like whatever. I'm looking forward to that. Anyways, that's Rob Lowe's arguing. Invest in nuclear. Goodbye.